When trying to change our lives, we always end up stumbling upon a block at some point that seems truly unmovable. And it happens even to the most successful people you look up to, or it has happened to them in the past. And in this video, we are going to see what this pain period is made of and how to overcome it for good. So every time you look up learning curves on the internet somewhere, you kind of stumble upon those graphs that show you your motivation or your progress are going to go up and down. For everyone, usually it starts with a massive increase in the beginning, either because it is new, it is exciting, you are really super motivated about it, but then comes the plateau, quite often not because your skills can't increase anymore, but because you kind of lose the motivation or the excitement. When the dopamine of novelty kind of goes away, then you have to link your desire to grow with other motivators. And that's the first issue we have to deal with. The other one is just that whenever we have made some progress, our system kinds of tries to maintain homeostasia, so our system tries to remain the same. And there is always a reevaluation when we cross a new level in life for should I really keep increasing or changing myself in that area, or should I not just remain the way I was before in my comfort zone, because after all it was comfortable, I knew what to expect when I was a failure or whatever. So we have to somehow fight against those limitations, those resistance from our conscious mind. And one big thing that even very successful people don't really want to admit is that this curve is going to repeat itself on and on and on until you just don't want to improve anymore. So even after a massive improvement in something, you might just get back to a phase where you don't really notice or see any progress anymore, you don't really know what to do next, and that is going to repeat itself on and on and on until sometimes you have one of those massive explosions where your skills or the results you get massively explode. But the good news, what it is also teaching us, is that massive momentum, massive explosion of results most of the time happens after one of those periods of peak pessimism where you feel like nothing is improving anymore, you don't make any progress anymore, you don't have ideas anymore, you don't have the creativity, you don't have the motivation, you feel like everything is against you. After those phases, if you accept to take it easy for a few weeks or a few months and then get back to training or making progress, or at least challenging yourself in your area of expertise, then you are going to see another set of progress. I tend to think also that it happens because whenever we reach one of those low bottom in motivation, in progress, in anything, we kind of sometimes feel like there is no hope anymore, we have tried everything, there is no more techniques we don't know of, everything has failed, therefore why go on? And it is a paradox, but it is within that state that usually we also let go of more of the things we were trying to force against. And therefore, when we finally release that attempt to force the results, when we finally let go of that oppressive attempt to get results right away, that is also when we let go of the things that just didn't work anyway and get more open to other methods we haven't tried yet, or maybe some adaptation in the outcomes and goals we have set for ourselves. Maybe I do not even need this, maybe what I actually need is that. But basically, if you notice that you have been looping in circles for endless months, even years sometimes, on the same thing, and you haven't seen any progress at all, not even the slightest, tiniest improvement, then clearly it means that you have been focusing or forcing or pushing on the wrong problem, or you have been trying to force yourself to reach the wrong result somehow. One reason behind that might be some traumatic experiences. Maybe you have blinded yourself, you have tried to hide from your range of vision the one thing you should do, because that thing you actually should do right now with your life or in your skills, that is something linked with some past failures or some negative experiences in the past with people who betrayed you, whatever. And because of that, you may not even want to really look at this one thing you should do, whereas your unconscious mind might give you clues and signs sometimes that yes, this is the thing you should do, but you kind of blur it from your vision, away from your vision, because no, this is painful, I don't want to look at this. Okay, quite often this will relate, by the way, to give a specific example, this will relate to inner work. Maybe I need to work on myself internally instead of trying to push the results externally. Quite often it is the thing. But let's say you have had some bad experiences in the past that made you kind of lower your expectations for what you could do, or you have been trying to force some kind of result in your life that doesn't really matter in the end. So to clarify all of that and make that more concrete in your personal situation, let's say that I ask you to think about succeeding with your biggest goals, whether you study seduction, NLP, rhetoric, debate, persuasion, sales, whatever you're studying right now. Let's say the biggest results you are expecting in those fields or anything you want to get improvement into, or building muscle mass, whatever you want. Let's say your biggest result, the biggest thing you have been dreaming about, let's say it does happen within the next 3 months. Or should I challenge you with, I dare you to succeed at this within the next 3 months, or before the end of the next 3 months. So if we are in July right now, before the end of October, for example, or before the end of November, let's say I challenge you, I dare you to succeed within the next 3 months. Right off the bat, what kind of excuses or objections come up to your mind first? Oh, impossible, I can't because. I can't because something. I can't because... and then spit it out. Give all the reasons and clues that let you understand what is your blockage made of. What is the reason you have been keeping yourself stuck on the low end of that curve, of that learning curve? If you have been staying stuck for too long on the same low plateau, what has been the deeper reason that has maintained you in that phase for so long? What has been keeping you there? And what stops you from climbing again? Because in most cases, sorry to say, in most cases, the one thing you are the most afraid of doing is the one you need to start with. That doesn't mean that one thing will solve all of your problems, but that is the one thing usually you need to do at this point, at this moment. So as I speak to you right now and as you are listening to me in those ways, can you identify what is the one thing that seems the most scary when we talk about it? Linked with the results you would like in your life, in your relationships, with your girlfriend, in your business, whatever you are developing right now, what is the one thing that scares you the most? To be honest, what is the one you kind of know you should do, or maybe you know this might be interesting, but no, I'm just not ready, I can't, it's impossible, not for people like me, I'm just too much inside my head, I cannot communicate in those ways, impossible for me. What is that one thing? The one thing you're scared of doing, but you keep thinking about it despite that fear. And the other one, to tweak that limitation around, is also to ask yourself if you could feel free enough, if you had the internal freedom to accept to do the one thing you should not do, or the thing you are not qualified enough or competent enough to do. And those are key words to underline. The one thing I could do, but I should not. I should not because I'm not ready. I should not because people will laugh at me. I should not because people told me I would fail. I should not because, well, I know I want it, but it's not a priority right now. I'm busy. I have other things to deal with. Okay, the thing you want but should not do. What is it? And also the thing you know you want to do, or like it would be so interesting, but you're just not competent enough, or like you're not qualified, or you just don't have the skills yet, or you haven't proven your level somehow, or you think you don't deserve it, or you think you're not worth acquiring or achieving this. Which one is that one fucking thing? That one thing you know deep down you want to do this, because your instincts, your unconscious mind has been communicating to you that this was the right thing to do, but somehow you retrieve and like you hide and you don't really pursue that one thing because of fear, because of judgment, because of low self-esteem, whatever you want to call it. What is that one thing? the thing you know you want to do and somehow you don't do it because you have excuses. Those are usually the ways to uncover, okay, if there is any deeper limitation keeping you stuck on one of those plateaus and you don't make progress anymore, or whenever you stop making progress, you can kind of get back down into some low phase. If there is something like this redundant in your life, then what is the deeper limitation? Can you solve it by yourself? If not, you might hire a coach if that is required for you. Otherwise, just notice what kind of deeper excuses tend to come back, or maybe not auditorily, maybe it's just a feeling. You feel like, I should not do this because it's not really, like you try to hide something, you're like not really comfortable. What is that one thing? Point it out, make it clear in your mind, and as soon as you have it, as soon as you have a bright picture of it, then notice what can you do about it. That is typically the way to notice which new path you can engage onto, and that process can be applied again to your professional life, to your dating life, to your finances, to playing an instrument, to anything you want to learn. Anything can be broken down into phases, and the low points are normal, the loss of motivations are normal. If they last for more than 2-3 months, it is not normal at all though. It has to be handled within 3 months, I would say, from experience. If it is lasting longer than 3 months, you don't see any progress in 3 months, and in the previous 3 months, you haven't really done anything new, you haven't really tested anything new, then okay, there is a deeper problem, and that is where all those deeper limitations and unconscious blockages are becoming more important to deal with. And to that extent, you can also check down below. There is a manual I had written some time ago called The Fundamentals of Neuro-Linguistic Programming, giving you access to some of the best tools and techniques within NLP, using anchoring, submodalities, fishing for limiting beliefs, and noticing what kind of blockages can you target whenever you have something in your mind you can't seem to deal with by yourself. That document is available down below in the description. You can just check it right away and apply the exercises and the tools you described in it. And with that in mind, thanks a lot for watching as usual. I will see you soon in the next video. Keep practicing with all of this. Ask any question you have in the comment section, and goodbye.